So let's discuss the productivity in IT and how it's impacted by the working hours. I recently read that Greece is pushing to have 6 working days approved by the government. This means that people will have 1 day for rest. This sounds quite shocking in comparison with the policy of Germany or Belgium or other countries that are trying to implement the 4 working days per week. No matter that some of them are trying to compress 10 hours instead of 8 during those 4 working days. Speaking of IT, I don't think it's possible to focus for such prolonged periods of time, especially when you're trying to solve certain problems. I personally use 2 or 3 maximum sprints of 90 minutes in which I'm trying to solve problems in a very concentrated way. Sometimes I can do only 1 sprint per day, but in terms of measuring productivity, I strongly disagree that the longer period of time means more output, especially more quality output. Just the contrary. Innovation is actually fostered by less working hours and more thinking time. And this has been proven by Google that tried to foster more meaningful work for the workers and thus involving them more into their projects. Not to mention that prolonged hours can actually decrease the productivity, lead to fatigue and burnout. Very often in such cases where I'm tired and I'm not enough focused, I ask several colleagues just to take a look at the code, especially if it's critical, just to have a second pair of eyes on the provided solution. Another aspect of productivity is that some companies are trying to measure it by putting milestones. And that's again faulty because I think it's more appropriate to provide properly written code. Many times it happened that I had to rewrite poorly written code because we were hurrying up for the release. I was forced just to patch the code, and in a very short amount of time, like 2 weeks afterwards, I needed to go back to the same code and spend the same time understanding what the code does, again losing precious time, which could have been avoided by simply rewriting and improving the code. While having several conversations with management boards, I've experienced the following objectives from the other side, such as our clients are in a need for faster completion of the projects, so we need to deliver as fast as we can by certain date. Or we are charging the customers by hours and we don't want to waste their time. So let's again provide faster solution just to be able to justify our expenses. I don't want even to comment on those. From the perspective of the managers, it's also quite challenging when the team has a low morale, also experiencing high stress due to quick deliverable dates. This in turn puts the managers into a position of managing the programmers as if they are not human beings but like robots in a certain schedule. The truth is that actually the best programmers that I know are sensitive and they really need to be treated kindly and understandingly and respectful towards in order to provide really great results. And returning to Greece, if the programmers are forced to work for so many hours, my message towards the employers are not to expect best quality because the workers already are comparing themselves with the same positions in other countries and probably would like to come to the office just to chat with their colleagues.